to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And the question is again, why should we have to respect? So respect is the entrance, the door to receive the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. Respect means that we admire. When you admire someone, you're keen to learn from that. So the receptivity opens. Receptivity to learn good qualities from the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha opens when you show respect. And how you show respect? You show respect through physical, verbal and mental. So physical prostration, verbal prostration, mental prostration. Physical prostration is physical gesture. Verbal prostration is when you say the praises. When you say the praises for the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, this is verbal prostration. And then the mental prostration is when you think about the Buddha's qualities, Dharma's qualities, Sangha's qualities. When you think about good qualities to which you admire, this is the mental prostration. Okay, so the prostration is so important and if possible, try to make it a habit again, to make it at least 3 prostrations in the morning. Here we will do more prostrations. Do we have this one? Buddham Sharanam Gacchami?
I think I have it here.
So from tomorrow morning, what we do is that we will do the prostrations for the 7 minutes. 7 minutes with the playing this, the Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, which means I go for refuge in Buddha, I go for refuge in Dharma, I go for refuge in Sangha. And making prostrations, say in the Tibetan tradition, we make like 100,000 times prostrations. 100,000 times prostrations. They spend like whole 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, right from early morning till evening, late evening, say in between breaks, like lunch, and otherwise they just keep doing prostrations as to accumulate, to prepare yourself to receive the qualities of the Buddha and Dharma and Sangha. Okay. And making prostrations, what we do is that we make this gesture, and we have to know what these gestures are, right? This gesture, what we do is that usually we don't do like this, and if somebody is doing like this, some other tradition do like that, I would say it's not wrong. But what we do is that, we make like a curve here, and then put the 2 thumbs inside. So this inside is a hollow. This hollow signifies the wisdom of emptiness. Hollow inside. And outside, there is the shape of the gem. For example, say Aravaluteshvara. Aravaluteshvara in his 2 hands pressed together, there's something inside. There is a gem. Gem symbolizing Bodhicitta. So this external part symbolizes the Bodhicitta, and inside symbolizes the wisdom of emptiness. And there are so many symbolisms. Say external symbolizing the Buddha's body, and the internal symbolizing Buddha's mind. So Buddha's body and mind, these 2 are the 2 sides of the same coin, right? So this is the symbolism, and then we touch this in 4 spots or 3 spots, up to you. Both are correct. 4 spots is crown, forehead, throat, and heart. Crown, forehead, throat, and heart. 4 spots. If you want to make 3, some people do 3. 3, forehead or the crown, the forehead or the crown, up to you. Either forehead, throat, or the heart. Or the crown, throat, or the heart. Or forehead, throat, and the heart. It's up to you. 4 or 3, up to you. Right? So, if for the crown, why the crown? Buddha's crown. Buddha has the crown. The crown, the merit accumulated, merit required to achieve the Buddha's crown. So when each one of us, when we become Buddha, we have to accumulate merit in order to achieve every part of the Buddha's body. To achieve the merit in order to get this Buddha's crown, that merit equals huge amount of merit. And from this crown, Buddha performed so much of the deeds, benefits, activities for the sentient beings from the crown. So therefore, when we touch our crown, we should be reminding ourselves of say, okay, I'm leaving the imprint to achieve the Buddha's crown. And then in the forehead, there is the bindu, the dot at the mid-brow. So that is extremely important part of the Buddha's body, mid-brow. Because from this mid-brow, the Buddhas send forth the nectars and light to all the directions to empower the bodhisattvas, the 10 Bhumi bodhisattvas. From this, they empower 10 Bhumi bodhisattvas to become Buddha. Right? So this eyebrow, the merit accumulated, achieve this eyebrow for the Buddhas. This is the maximum merit required. So therefore, when you touch this, it is activating the seed to achieve the Buddha's mid-brow. Okay. Then the throat is activating the Buddha's speech. Of all the deeds of the Buddha, the deed of the speech is the supreme. Of all the deeds of the Buddha, the deeds of the speech is supreme. Say, if Buddha does two things, one is the Buddha gives teachings, and on the other hand, Buddha shows miracles. Miracles is the physical activities. Miracle, and which will you be more attracted? Towards the miracle or towards the teachings? Okay. So people who are attracted towards the miracles, their thinking is very low. It's not mature. So where you are attracted towards the teachings, you are more mature in your thinking. Finally, because with the teaching, the Buddha will teach the wisdom. And the wisdom will remove your darkness, ignorance. Ignorance is gone, your Buddha nature comes out, you become Buddha, and you are benefited. Whereas the miracle, the physical miracle the Buddha shows, you see the miracle and then you are inspired. Finish. You don't get anything out of this. So therefore, of all the activities, the activity of the Buddha's speech is the supreme. Right? So therefore, when you touch this thought as to activate the seat of the Buddha's speech. And then finally, at the heart, to activate the imprint of the Buddha's mind within your heart. Right? Okay, finally, all the Buddha's activities, Buddha's teachings, everything is finally manifested from the Buddha's mind. Buddha's mind manifesting in the form of speech, in the form of physical appearance, and so forth. So finally, your mind should be changed to the Buddha's mind. So when you touch this, it is to activate the seat of the Buddha's mind within you. No? Okay, so this is the reason. And as I said earlier, being prostrations. So the Tibetan tradition has said that the two palms, the two knees, and the forehead. These 5 spots must touch. Whether you do the short form, long form, full-fledged, full-length, the prostration, or the short form prostration, that's up to the individual, right? Both are correct. Okay. And then making prostrations, always visualize your 2 parents and all sentient beings with you, and Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all in the. Why we are doing this is that finally, why we are including the 2 parents, all sentient beings, is to activate the seed of Bodhicitta. Finally, without the Bodhicitta, we can never ever achieve Buddhahood. So it is the wisdom of it is the Bodhicitta that will allow us to achieve Buddhahood. So Bodhicitta is so precious, yet for the practice of Bodhicitta, it takes time. For practice of Bodhicitta, it takes time. And you understand it fully, still it may not be activated, even the least. So it is only through practice and long time practice that we can expect to see the fruitioning of the Bodhicitta rising within you. So for that matter, we need time. And time means what? Time to activate it. So every time when you visualize sentient beings with you making prostration together, saying practice, doing practice together, and then offering the food together like this, what is happening is that you're constantly enriching the Bodhicitta mind within you. And then the more you enrich this, say, if you don't include this, it may take you, say, like the 60 years to generate Bodhicitta. If you do this every day, say making prostrations, you think about all sentient beings, offering light, you think about all sentient beings, you do your daily practice, you think about all sentient beings, then the time span may be crunch to 10 years, which other would take you like 60 years. You can be very successful in 10 years, you can generate Bodhicitta. So this is the benefit. Okay, this is the Bodhicitta, let's say the purpose of doing these things. And often light, I already taught you, often light is often the light of the wisdom. Wisdom. With a thing like this, and every time you light in, and in Israel, what is the rule? And some of the countries, the rule is that you're not allowed to light candles inside the house. No?
No,
Not allowed?
no, we don't have.
But we don't have this rule. So which means,
Only Saturday. I mean, Saturday you can light.
You have to, you're supposed to light every Friday evening.
oh, that's amazing there.
Yes,
Then on other days it's optional.
yes.
Then you can light, it's fine. In other countries you are not entitled. If you put the candle like this, instantly it will sense it. Senses the smoke sensor. It's very sensitive. It's very sensitive. So whereas in Israel, if it is not too strict, then you can offer tea light candles, but of course be very careful. But because you already have the tradition, it's not wrong for you. Some people they do it and they didn't do it carefully, then house burn can happen, right? Okay, that we should be careful. The point is that make it a habit to offer light. Nowadays the beautiful lights are there, but the light, I would say that light the wick, make sure that the fume is less, right? Because the fume can really have effect to your lungs, right? The fumes, the smoke. Be very careful that if you want to offer more lights, then do it more in the open space rather than in the house where all the windows are closed. Don't do that. One candle is fine, one candle, but the wick should not be too thick. It should be, fine, and that the fume is as least. Okay. Okay, then what is important is that for the next 4 days, I'm not too sure. Okay, we have to do it now. We have no time, right? So so last time the retreat in France was for 7 days. Retreat in Malaysia was for 9 days. Bodhicitta retreat, full 9 days. Okay. So here we started to take the aspiration Bodhisattva from day 3. From day 3. So whereas here, if you do it from day 3, then finish. Right? So we have to do it from tomorrow. Okay. So from tomorrow we will start taking the aspiration Bodhisattva. And for Bodhisattva vow, don't worry, it's a vow, again, there are so many commitments. No, there's no commitment with Bodhisattva vow. There are two kinds. Aspirational Bodhisattva vow and the actual Bodhisattva vow. There are two. For the actual Bodhisattva vow, you should be very careful. Right? There are many commitments. There are commitments, but the benefit is also be much, 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 much more. And the commitments are there. And whereas if you're prepared, like the practice of Bodhicitta for an extended period of time, and you have some experience with Bodhicitta, then taking the Bodhisattva vow, actual Bodhisattva vow, is not a short difficult. But then somebody who is not practicing Bodhicitta for an extended period of time without any experience, and then you try to take the actual Bodhisattva vow, it can be quite heavy, right? So therefore be very careful. Whereas the Bodhisattva vow that we are taking from tomorrow, it does not have any commitment. It has a tremendous benefit, but no commitment. Maximum what the commitment is that from today onwards, I'll try my best to be kind to others and try my best not to harm others. Finish. We're getting it? This is commitment. Okay. Okay. So this is so, and then the point is, after learning how to do this, then in your house, if possible, try to take it every day, if possible. Because the more you take it, more the spirit of bodhicitta is going to be activated. The more that is activated with the vigor, then later on when you actually practice bodhicitta, you see that it comes to you very spontaneous, very easily, which will otherwise take a very long time, but for you it will take a very short time to generate it. Once you have it, then you already enter into the first gati. Gati, paragati, parasangati, bodhiswaha. Okay, so with this in mind, I'll quickly go through the textbook here, what we're going to do in the mornings. I'll quickly go through this to inform you why we are doing each of these. Why? No, without knowing why we are doing this, and then you might find that, okay, there are so many recitations, he's encouraging us not to do the recitations, but again he's adding more recitations, right? Okay, and we are doing this for the 4 days, we are doing this, but later on at home it's not necessary you should do all these things. If possible, somebody should remind me on the last session, we will do the last session on how to do the practice if we have 1 hour. How to do the practice if we have only half an hour. How to do the practice if we have only 10 minutes a day. How to do the practice if I have only 5 minutes a day. And how to do the practice only if I have 1 minute, sorry. 5 minutes, okay, I will teach you how to do that. And 1 minute, I'm sorry. Okay, so the point is somebody should remind me. Who's going to remind me? Shosh? Okay, Shosh will remind me, right? Okay. The last session. On the last session, how to practice, design a daily practice. Okay, so from page page 2, and these stanzas which we're going to read, page 2, from page 2, the stanzas which we're going to read, the stanzas, and that I will try to explain them not completely in one day, right? Because the stanzas themselves, some of the stanzas require understanding emptiness to a great extent. Without understanding emptiness, we cannot understand the stanzas. So these stanzas we will leave towards the closer to the end to be explained. Otherwise, stanzas will, during the classes, I'll try to explain the 1 stanza at a time, 2 stanzas at a time, like this. Okay. The page 2 is easy. Then we turn to page 7. Ye Dharma mantra, Tental Ningbo mantra, essence of dependent knowledge mantra, which we already said it. And then refuge in Bodhicitta. Then the Bodhisattva Muni praise. Then the Heart Sutra. Okay, Heart Sutra is extremely important. And if you get time, you make a point to recite the Heart Sutra at least once every day. At least once every day. If not, if you really don't have time, then you can recite the Heart Sutra mantra. As you recite the mantra, remember emptiness, which you will learn the next 4 days. Okay. Then the page 19. Page 19. 8 verses mind training. This is primarily saying Heart Sutra is to activate the wisdom. And page 8 verses mind training to activate Bodhicitta. Activate Bodhicitta. Heart Sutra is to activate the wisdom. So finally, we should cross the ocean of samsara. To cross the ocean of samsara, we need the 2 wings. The wing of the wisdom and the wing of the Bodhicitta. With these 2 things, you can cross the ocean of samsara towards Buddhahood. Okay, 8 verses mind training is primarily to activate the Bodhicitta, compassion, and to subdue our anger. Okay. Then page 22. Page 22, the 7 Puja. 7 Puja, there are so many versions. There are so many versions of 7 Puja. And 7 Puja is primarily to prepare us to undertake this journey of enlightenment. As the prerequisite, we need to say, for any journey, just see whether you agree with me or not. For any journey, we need the road clear. If the road is blocked by woods, by the trees, boulders like that, you cannot take the journey. You agree with me? Not only that the road should be clear, that the car should have enough fuel. If the road is very clear, but the car does not have enough fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey, right? So the road should be clear. Road is none other than your own mind. Your mind is the road. Your mind should be clear of the mental defilements. Purification should happen. Then your mind is the car. This mind should travel to Buddhahood as a car. So it should have enough fuel of the merit accumulation is so important. So for the merit accumulation and removing the obstacles, remove the mental dust, mental defilements. So these 7 in puja are considered as the most efficient way by which to do so. Okay, so 7 in puja consists of what? Making prostrations, making offerings, confessing the negativities, rejoicing in the virtues of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all other beings, the virtues of yourself. And number 5, requesting the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to continue giving teachings. Then number 6, requesting Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to remain with the sentient beings till samsara ends. And then finally number 7, dedicating the merits towards the proliferation of the Dharma, towards the well-being of the sentient beings, and so forth. Okay, so these 7 points are so important. This is what we're going to do. Okay. Then followed by mandala offering. Page 26. Mandala offering. Now mandala offering, say the mandala offering, mandala has many connotations. It has many connotations. One is mandala in the form of the mansion or the abode or the palace of the Buddhas. The palace of the palace, mentioned, divine palace of the Buddhas and the deities. Mandala. And then the mandala in the form of your body is the mandala. And then the universe is the mandala. So when we say mandala offering, we are offering the whole universe to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So when we, in this, the universe according to how that is depicted by in the classical, the Buddhist texts and also the classical Hindu texts, the universe is depicted as in the center is Mount Meru, surrounded by the four continents, and 4 continents in turn, surrounded by 2 subcontinents, total 8 subcontinents, and the sun and moon, like this. So, whether this universe is true or not, it doesn't matter. Our job is to offer everything best that you can think of from this universe to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And as the gesture, as a symbolic gesture, you offer this by saying this in the ground ornament with perfumes, flowers, adorned with Mount Meru. You can say the same stanza mentally, imagining everything best that exists in the universe to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Okay, you do this offering of the whole mandala, and then after making the offering, then you make 2 sets of requests. The next, page 26. Page 26. Page 26. The first one, the 4 dharmas of Venerable Gambopa. Venerable Gambopa, the student, direct disciple of Geshe Milarepa. So these 4 lines were set by Geshe Gambopa, and this is extremely concise version of what kind of prayers that we should do, so that in future lifetimes we'll come in contact with the actual Dharma, which will take us towards Buddhahood. So it says, may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards that Dharma. So since childhood, that somehow you meet with, say, the Buddhist practitioners, Dharma practitioners, and other people, you go, ultimately your mind goes towards the Dharma, number 1. Number 2, may I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on a proper path, meaning that this Dharma, as I go there, as I go there in this path, that may it be successful, may I be able to successfully go there, go in this direction. Successful on the path meaning successful go in the direction. Say, when doing this Dharma, I'm becoming sick, I cannot continue. Then say, the tragedies befall on you, you cannot continue. So that it should be in the proper path without obstacles. Number 2. Number 3, may I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. That you are on the path, and sometimes the path can be mistaken. So although I'm really going towards the path, this direction to the Dharma, which I thought is the real Dharma, and then I meet with the very strange teachers, right? And then you go into the off track, very wrong direction. So that may I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. Then finally, number 4 is very powerful. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Okay, this is very powerful. So this comes only after realizing emptiness. Right? Number 4, only after realizing emptiness. Say, if you go to a shop to buy the statues, there are statues of, say, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad, or what, the statue of, let's say, the Abraham, Jacob, and the statue of the demon.
Not allowed in our religion.
Right?
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Oh, you
Not
missed it.
allowed.
No statue.
No statue. Okay.
No statue.
Okay. Let's say then what is allowed?
The price?
Just symbols like
Symbol is allowed.
vegetables, fruits. This is allowed. Not human being.
Okay. So the symbol is allowed.
Deer, symbols, animals. Is
Okay, let's say what I'm saying is say if you go into the shop.
I agree with that.
No, what I'm saying is if I go into a shop, a very secular shop who doesn't believe in any religion, but his shop has so many of these statues, right? Statues of all these great teachers of the different tradition, and also the statues of demons, right? So we will choose only the good ones. We will not choose the demons' statues, right? And if it so happens that you have the demon statue, you are not happy. But if you realize that all these statues they are made of diamond, then you will not throw even the demon statue. You will not throw that because it's diamond. So you see that finally, whether good, bad, all these things it's how we see. If you know how to see them correctly with exalted wisdom, you see everything in the divine forms. There's nothing which is impure, which is bad like this, So it says, may I be blessed with the flaws, even the flaws, what ordinary people see as flaw, may I be able to see that in the light of exalted wisdom. You getting it? This is so precious teaching.
So it
Right.
means that even the flaws?
Even flaws.
Because it doesn't say even.
So no, may I be blessed that these are all connected. The first one is connected to the second is connected with the fourth one is connected to the third is connected to the second one is third. First one says, may I be blessed that my Dorji was a dharma. What kind of dharma? Dharma practice is on the proper path. What kind of path? The path is free of flaws. What kind of flaws? The flaws are similar to exalted. They are all connected.
2 and 3 are very similar.
Not similar. The first one directed towards the dharma. Let's just say that say there is one person, right, who said, oh, I teach the teaching of the Buddha, I teach the teaching of the Buddha. Actually, his job is to make money, right? And he will not say that I'll make money out of this, right? It's just to extract money from you. He will not say this. I teach the teaching of Buddha, And then you say, because your mind is towards the Dharma, inclined to the Dharma, you feel so happy to go towards that. You go there, and it's not the right path. It's not proper path. So you are very unsuccessful. Okay. So this is the 4 things very important. And the next four, if you remember what we said, 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 you find in the next one. This is 4 dharmas of Damdul Bhikshu Mahasatha. Actually this is from my teacher, Venerable Damdul. In his last days of before he passed away, in his last days, he said these, and then I put them together. I know his thinking, so I put them together to make them in a very systematic way. So these were actually said by him. Okay. So first one is the renunciation. Number 2 is the Bodhicitta. Number 3 is the wisdom of emptiness, and number 4 is the non-dual wisdom of bliss and emptiness. Number 4. So within these 4, the 4 plus 1, all are included. Renunciation is there, Bodhicitta is there, wisdom of emptiness is there. The first 3, as we said before. Fourth one is the combination of shamatha and tantra. Combination is the fourth one.